And a very good evening. Thank you for joining me again on this edition of Take Time with Lyle. An opportunity just for a few minutes to think about leadership, what it is, what it means, what it looks like, and also hopefully give you the space and time to reflect on how you're doing as someone who's responsible for a team of people, be that just two or three people as a team leader, or maybe the MD of a larger SME. So, welcome. The topic tonight is in the form of a question, and my question to you this evening is: as you think back on your typical week, typical month, where do you see yourself spending most of your time? If you look at your diary, if you look at what keeps you busy, what does actually keep you busy? If you think back to what we talked about last time, we talked about being a leader. We said that a leader was a pathfinder, and in that role, the pathfinder, the leader, takes time out to think about where he or she wants to take their team, creating a vision, being clear on what success looks like, and then getting their team engaged, motivated to help achieve that vision. We also looked then at a manager, and we said that a manager was a pathminder. And what we meant by that was that the management role is, once the direction for the team has been set, the management role kicks in, as it were, and ensures that the path is followed. And that is done through planning, organizing, controlling, and monitoring. Tonight I want to add a third element to that piece, and tonight I want to talk about the doing part. The time when you need to get stuck in, roll up your sleeves, get your hands dirty, and get involved in the nitty-gritty of what your team is involved with. It's not leading, neither is it managing. It's doing, the operational piece. For a team leader working on a production line, that could be keeping an eye on the line, making sure that the machinery runs smoothly, and when there's a breakdown, very much part of the team that will roll up the sleeves and try and find out what the cause is and get the problem sorted. If you are the owner of a coffee shop, that doing bit looks like you taking orders, making great coffee, serving your clients at the table, and then clearing tables at the end. And so that's what doing would look like. So back to my question then, if we're looking at leading, managing, and now this doing piece or operating, where do you see yourself being kept very, very busy? If you're involved in a lot of doing, you're going to be busy. You're going to be involved in the nitty-gritty of your team. And at the end of the day, as you drive home, you're going to be saying to yourself, as I'm sure you have, I've been so busy, I've been run off my feet, but actually, what have I really achieved with my team, for my company today? If a large part of your time is taken up with management, and yes, there always has to be robust management, there's got to be planning, organizing, controlling, monitoring. If that's all that you're doing, your team is going to be doing just the same old every day. You see, it's only when you spend time leading, doing that leadership stuff that we've talked about, it's only then that you stand the chance of creating real value for your team, in your team, and for your company. It's only then that you're going to be able to take that group of people that you're responsible for and transform them into a high-performing team. And so as you look at those three elements, you've got to be thinking, if I'm serious about taking my team, my company forward, where do I need to be spending significant time? Going back to the coffee shop owner, as we said, the doing will be serving customers, clearing tables, making coffee. The management piece will be, you need to be planning your shifts, you need to be ordering your supplies. That's all doing. But there is a need for you as the coffee shop owner to be sitting back and saying, well, where do I want to take my business? Where do I see my coffee shop in 2, 3, 4 years' time? What does success look like? Why is that important to me? How do I get my staff, my permanent staff, my temporary staff, to become excited and motivated, engaged to such an extent that they will willingly want to help me achieve that vision? So that's the challenge. And again, I ask the question, where are you spending your time? I think you can ask me, well, Lyle, how much time should I be spending leading? Well, I guess that pretty much depends on where you're at with your team and how big your team is. If you're a team leader with just 2 or 3 people in your team, maybe an hour a week is all that you need to start with anyway. But if you are the MD of a SME or larger company, obviously you're going to need to spend a lot more time doing that leadership work, spending time in that leadership space. A question that then flows from that, well, how do I create the time to spend meaningful quality time leading? How do I get that in spite of the fact that I have so much doing to do, and I've got to be managing? And yeah, I guess that's the challenge that a leader has, is to stop the doing. Now, you'll never get rid of all the doing, but how much of that doing do you really need to be doing? And maybe this is a topic that we can pick up at a later stage, is how do you create, what can you do to create the time to create the time to do that leadership stuff? Think about it in the meantime. What can you be doing to carve out a couple of hours a week or whatever you feel is necessary to spend time thinking about where you want to take your company, your team, what success looks like, and how you're going to get your people on board. So that was my message for tonight. Think about, over the coming days, where you're spending your time. And if you feel the balance is not right, then maybe you need to look at, well, how do I create the time to get that balance better? Now, just finally, you may remember that in the first video I said that I wanted to use some of these video blogs just to share a little bit about me, what I like to do, a little bit about who I am and where I've been. And so I just want to finish off with that for a moment. And when we lived in South Africa, one of the favorite places we as a family loved to go to was the Kruger National Park, a massive game reserve about the size of Wales, about 4.5 hours north of Johannesburg. And we spent many amazing days in that place, just enjoying the beauty of creation, the beauty of nature, the excitement of seeing the various animals, no matter how often you've already seen them. And I want to show you a picture of one such instance where we came across these people here. We'll never forget this day. This was taken from our car, just driving from one camp to the other. No fancy camera, no fancy lens, so you can imagine how close up we were to these elephants. It was just such an exciting moment, scary at times, but it is something we will never forget, and that's what we really enjoyed about going to the Kruger National Park. Every day was different. You never knew what you were going to see, and if you're planning a trip to South Africa, I would highly recommend that you put the Kruger Park on your itinerary. Folk, that's it. Thank you for taking time with Lyle. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.